Hey people, welcome back to midweek builds with Series Builds, same one. Got a big build for today. This is another set I've been sitting on for a few years. One that I've really been looking forward to adding to my collection. To be honest, I kind of see this as being quite a central set within my layout. You can just kind of see the edge there in the camera. It might give you a bit of an indication as to what the set is. Obviously you can see from the title that we are building a train station. But this isn't just any train station. And you will become pretty evident, especially with the larger builds, that my focus is generally on sort of railway infrastructure, largely because my layout primarily will have a significant railway that runs around it, and sort of help me map it out a little bit better and sort of help me get a good idea of the layout and how it's going to work. I kind of want to build a number of these sort of larger railway buildings and so forth, and then I can place them and I can sort of work stuff around that one. So previously we obviously built Brick Cross Station, which will be a slightly smaller station that will feature within the layout somewhere, and now we are building this bad boy. So this is the Studgate train station. So this is another one of the Bricklink designer program sets. This set goes back to 2023, so it released in 2023. It was part of the Bricklink 2021 designer program, so it was kind of like almost like the first sort of tranche of this Bricklink designer program. It was limited to 5,000 sets per run. It has 4,076 pieces, so it's a big set. Set number 910002, Studgate train station is called. Obviously you get the station, which has two platforms and the tracks that run through the centre of the station. It's got a concourse, it's got a little restaurant and stuff in it, it's got a viewing platform up top, and you also build like this little sort of commuter train almost here, a little small commuter style train. So you know it sort of encompasses quite a lot when it comes to sort of creating your railroad. Obviously you get a moving vehicle and a substantial station. This is actually the station is designed for the railway to run through it. My intention, I'm going to build it as is, but my intention longer term will be to sort of try and amend it so as to be a terminus station. So essentially the way I'm going to have the railroad in my layout, I'm going to have the track running around the entire circumference of the room, and then in the middle I will have a central table which is going to be the city. This station then will essentially be right in the very centre of the city, and the line will run into it and will run back out of it, then sort of joining on to the main external loop both ways. Why that? How you doing, man? Thanks mate, appreciate it. So yeah, that's kind of my intention. So I want to sort of close the station off at one end, turn into a terminus station so the train can run in and then run back out again and join the main loop. That's sort of my initial plan. I don't know, maybe I sort of only intended initially to connect the central table on one side, but I might sort of change that and connect it on both sides. I don't know. So then maybe we could run right the way through, and the trains could sort of branch on the line on either side. I guess there's a lot of flexibility here, so I can do it either way. But that's kind of enough about that anyway. I'm going to crack the set open here. So this is also an unboxing. I haven't opened this side yet, so it does actually come with these nice shiny Bricklink designer program invitational tabs. David William said hi. How you doing, David William? Mo Salah, I'm opening it right now, mate. Coming right up. Lots of love and respect from beautiful India. Have a pleasant full day, sir. Thank you very much, White Dad. Appreciate it, mate. You have a great day too. Oh, your day's probably nearing its completion, I suppose. I remember you did it. So Mo Salah's very, very keen to get this open, so here goes now. Alright, so we've got the obligatory box in a box. We have one 48 by 48 base plate. I won't be building onto that base plate. And then we have another box in here. Lo and behold, a third box. So yeah, like box set, a box in a box in a box. Let me pop that down on the floor out of the way for now. This isn't going terribly smoothly. There we go. Right, so I've got 3 boxes, so I'm just gonna open these in the order that I pulled them out, and hopefully that is the order in which I will need them. So one of the things about these bricklaying sets, they don't come with physical instructions, so it's entirely digital instructions. So I have the instructions up here of a PDF on my computer, so I'll be building along with my computer. Alrighty then, so that's the first box of bags. It also includes this little Bricklink Designer Program invitational leaflet here, which just gives you links and so forth to the building instructions, so there's nothing terribly significant to that. So up there out of the way for now. So yeah, we've got our first sets of bags here, so all numbered bags then. So we're just bagging 2 and 3. I'm pretty sure we've also got a couple of stickers as well, so just a fairly small sticker sheet. There's 3 different stickers, but they're multiples of each, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 9 little stickers in. They're just sort of decals for the train and the signs above stations. So I suppose you can give or take with them, do some things really. So I'm trying to find bag 1. Maybe it's not. Maybe the boxes aren't quite organised the way that I thought they would be. So 2 and 3 here, 5 and 6, 7, another 7. Alright, we're just going to pop some of these away then, so we don't need these all at the minute. Morning Horn 17 says mint. Yes, mint is one word for it. I'm going to throw them on the ground there. I'm going to have to open another box and see if I can find bag 1. So, not the perfect start really. I kind of thought these maybe would have been arranged a wee bit better, you know, with the first bags and the first boxes that come out, but alas, that wasn't the case, and I suppose it depends what way you open it, which one comes out first. So we have another box here. So we've got one of the train bases and some track. Just throw all that crap on the floor for now. We've got our other train base. And there's bag 1. And another bag 1. We've also got some more track in here, so I'll pop that one up there. the ground for now. Right, so that's kind of what's in now. Just going to move these bits and pieces out of the way for now, and then we can start building it. So we actually start off with the little train that comes with the set. So we've got 2 bag ones. And let me just cycle up the instructions here then to find the first one. So okay, so we're starting off with the bogies then, I think. We are indeed. Oh, haven't got them yet. So I need to go hunting again, unfortunately, because I don't have any of the. And we've done a load of parts for the actual wheels, which are loose in here somewhere as well. And typically they're not in that box. I'll try again here. There's a lot of bags here, an awful lot of bags. Like I said, there's 4,000 parts in this set, so this is stand for a reason. There's going to be a lot. Alright, there we go. So where are the parts that I need then? There we go. So this is the bag that I was looking for here, with the just a little sort of the sort of skirts for the bogies and the buffers as well. So I'm literally just dumping this all on the floor for now. So many bags here. If only you could see the mess on the floor. It's pretty chaotic. But that's yeah, that's a lot of bags. But anyway, we've got what we need now, so technically speaking we can start building. So we'll just find our way here to the first section then. Eight of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 2 buffers. Then we have our 2 train bases. Then we have bag 1, right? Okay, so that's kind of me organised now. Let's start building the train. The train is yellow and black. I think it's quite a nicely colour scheme. There we go. Right, so starting off with a wee few pieces here. Well, I definitely don't have all the pieces I need. Is there another bag 1? Surely not. There must be another bag 1. Alright, here we go. There we go. So obviously this set's no longer available to purchase. It was very limited run back in 23. However, for the most part, it's perfectly brick linkable, for want of a better word. Puppy girls, no, I'm right here. I'm live. And I'll read whatever chat comes up, so I'll quiet on there at the moment. So yeah, this set can't be purchased anymore, but it is available via Bricklink. Pick up the various parts. There's nothing unique parts wise this set, so it's not sort of unobtainable in that regard. However, as I sort of mentioned before, it's just over 4,000 parts, and as you can see, well, you can't see, but there's an absolute mountain of bags here. And yeah, it would take a while to get everything together. Puppy girls, I'm working on this bad boy here. It's one of the Bricklink designer sets from the invitational program in 2023, 910002, Stugate train station. So it's taken me about, not gonna lie, it's taken me about 15 minutes just to get all the bags out of the boxes to actually get started building. So it's not been the smoothest of starts, but we're getting there. How long have I been doing Lego? I've been building Lego for, well, as long as I know really. I built Lego as a child. I stopped for a long time as I sort of went through life, but I've been sort of back building again since probably COVID times. So we're talking about the last sort of 5-6 years maybe. So yeah, we're going pretty well. Although I've been doing more sort of collecting than building of late, to be honest. I've made a massive booby already. You can see that this set's going to piss me right off. Oh no, what happened? Well, how did it get smashed? Can you not build them back up again, or? That sounds... Yeah, it's kind of become my hobby of choice now. I get injured every time I play a sport, and everyone's constantly telling me to stop playing. So Lego's kind of a much safer go-to, I think. Okay, those aren't the freest running of wheels on that. Oh, that sucks. You not got a sibling or something that you could pay to put them all back together for you? Righto, so get our buffers on here now. So here we're just the build starting off, then it comes with a little sort of 2-carriage sort of train. It's almost like a little, oh gosh. But this happened in your house, yes, or in a room, so they've got me somewhere. Right, fur. But that sounds like a bit of a problem. That sucks. I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely hate the digital controls, or digital instructions. really not a fan of them at all. Um, I'd much prefer a set of physical instructions in front of me. It's kind of been my major gripe with these bricking sets, to be honest. I don't really find them terribly clear either, to be honest. I don't know, maybe I'm just old school, but I just much prefer to have an instruction booklet in front of me. It's just a lot easier, I find, to work through. I'm missing like 4 Animal Crossing sets total out of the series. I've been buying the knockoff Star Wars from Amazon. Yeah, Lego Star Wars is, well, Lego in general is pricey, but I think one of the major problems with Star Wars is there's also so many sets, it's very hard to keep up with them. No. Done something wrong here, work it out. This is what I mean about these stupid instructions I'm constantly missing. But I like the Animal Crossing sets. I think they're pretty cool. I don't know a great deal about Animal Crossing, to be fair, because I've never really been into Nintendo consoles, and Animal Crossing is a game that's just never really resonated with me. But the sets are nice colours, and they're quite cute. And they're, I suppose, a little less expensive than some of the other lines, even though they're sort of IP driven. Funny, someone has approached me with a load of their minifigures looking me to sell them for them, and they have, I know they don't have General Grievous, but they have Darth Revan, who I believe is another very well sought after figure. Again, I'm not really a minifigure person, and I'm not really clued up enough in Star Wars to sort of understand the ins and outs. I do invest a wee bit in Lego, so I do try to keep a bit of an eye on things, just so as to make sure that, if there's an opportunity there, that I'm sort of positioned to take advantage of it. But I don't know enough about it to talk about it really. Hey, Fern256, how you doing? Funny, I've seen a few sort of local sort of Instagrammers and stuff like that there, and some other creators that have made some nice wee Animal Crossing layouts. And they're cute, like, I'll give you that, and they're lovely and colourful, and they definitely do make for a nice little layout. Again, I suppose the biggest problem for me is I don't really care enough for it, and I'm a bit of a completionist, so when I start something I kind of always have this mad urge to have everything in the series, so I just wouldn't want to start, because that would be dangerous. Yeah, just that OG Cloud City in general is pretty insane. And the irony of it is, as time goes by, it's much less impressive of a set now than it obviously was when it first came out. But you throw an exclusive minifigure in there, and people are going to do all sorts of crazy. No, I don't really have any. Don't know what the sort of most exclusive minifigure I would have in my set would be. It's probably, to be honest, it'll be nothing terribly exciting. I imagine it's probably maybe like the Demogorgon or something from the Stranger Things Upside Down house set, something like that maybe. I suspect given the popularity of that set that the figure in it's probably a much wanted one. But it is crazy how mad people can get over a figure. But then that's the joy of collecting, isn't it? You know, you put something out there that people want, and well, they will pay what they have to get it. So the instructions on these sets, like I said previously, aren't great. They're okay, but they do leave a lot to be desired. So that goes in the first, that goes in the middle. Alright. The Lego do I have any on standby that are going to build next? I don't know. I just finished the Twilight House, which I kind of really liked. I've started the Krusty Burger, but I'm building it along with another guy on live stream, so that will not happen again. I'll probably not get back onto that for like another few weeks. I don't know, I've so much to choose from, it's very hard to pick, to be honest. I'm kind of trying to focus mainly on sets that I can sort of factor into my layout whenever I get it up and running. So I'm just trying to build a bit of a collection of sort of almost city-based set. Well, not Lego City, you know what I mean, but just sets that will sort of work nicely in whatever sort of format my layouts want to take, which is why I'm sort of building this station at the minute, because I'm going to have a significant kind of railway within the layout, and I just want to get a few of the stations built up and kind of yeah, just so I can place them and just sort of understand exactly how things are going to work out. Bailey, how you doing, man? Yes, I did finish it. I'll give you a quick look. If I can get over that here, there's an absolute ton of bags sitting down here. Let's see the best way to do this. There we go. So that is the T-Rex Null Story. So I was building this on a previous stream, well across a few. It's an absolute beast. It's pretty epic. It's absolutely massive, so I don't really know what to do with it at this stage, but there you go. Tumbling and Jago dragons and Star Wars ships hanging on the ceiling and fighting with. Oh, very good. That's good. No, I don't have anything like that. I don't collect Star Wars. Yeah, that frog is pretty epic. I'm gutted that you can't sort of access it. It's one of those things that you just get the pleasure of when you're building. You can, Billy, yes, I remember you. I remember you when you're on the stream, yeah. But no, I don't collect Lego Star Wars, and I also don't really collect Ninjago. I do have a couple of Ninjago sets. You'll probably see one up behind me there, sort of up above my left shoulder. there's a chance I might do something like that. I don't I don't have a lot of planes. I had an airport from my childhood, um, which I actually sold off, um, just to help me sort of buy some newer sets. To be honest, I semi regret it, to be honest, because it was it was a really cool set, and I sort of wish I'd held on to it now, but it's gone, so there's nothing to do about that. But yeah, I sort of. I suppose I've got a few helicopters and stuff like that. I could probably theoretically hang a helicopter or two. I have the Concorde, but it's a bit too big, and I don't particularly want it hanging from the ceiling, to be honest, because it's massive. So I don't know. I've got lots of ideas. Like I said, it's going to be very much railway focused because I love trains, like, so that's probably going to be the most sort of prominent feature within the lab. But that's not to say that I can't. You know, I've complete free reign. It's my room. It's exclusively for Lego. You know, I can sort of do as I please within it. So, you know, we'll see. I'll just play it by ear as time goes by. I don't like that. I'll turn it for those there. Okay. Billy, I'm doing really good, thank you. What about yourself, man? How are you? Some that are big, 2 hooks and more fishing line. Well, yes, anything can hang, but I suppose it would just be massively imposing. Because it is so big, it's almost a metre long. You know, it just will have no scale compared to the rest of it. Billy, yes, I'm building this. As Puppy Girl says, this station here from the Bricklink Designer Programme. So, Studgate Station. There's the rear of it as well, so you can see kind of through the station. So, yeah, I've been sitting on this set for a while. So figured today was the day to build it. It'll I can sort of join in with all the other sort of railway stuff and stations and whatnot I've been building over there. I'm just trying to get a few bits and pieces built up so that when I get my tables in place, I can start laying out a few bits, and it'll kind of make a bit more sense. Then I'll sort of have a better vision of the layout and how it's going to look. Best layout plans and all that. Generally speaking, yes, it is a bit more expensive, only because I suppose the production runs aren't as big as the likes of Lego, so they're probably a little bit more expensive to produce. There's nothing sort of exclusive about any. They don't have any exclusive parts. The only thing probably is they have stickers. So the only thing you could theoretically piece them together and sort of part them out and buy them that way. But obviously you'll have to buy the sticker sheet. They're just quite exclusive runs as well, you see. So sort of once they're sold through, then they're not available anymore. Now there has been a scenario of late whereby there's the odd additional one that's been made available in certain markets. But generally speaking, once they're sold through, that's then gone. They are obviously available on the secondary market, but you know, at the secondary markets, like the price is inflated. So I can't remember how much this cost. Let me actually have a look. I had all the details up there. Okay, so it was £300, 300 sterling. That 300 sterling, $400, €340. So it was pricey enough. However, given that it's 4,000 pieces, the price per piece ratio isn't so bad, and some of the parts are quite big. You know, you get a 48 by 48 base plate, you get 8 straight track, and like these are like, you know, 150 each, you know, if you want to buy them separately. And there's a lot of sort of glazing and plates and stuff in it, you know, so I suppose technically speaking, it's probably not terrible value. Yes, I grew up in Ireland. I'm from Northern Ireland. I've lived here for the vast majority of my life. I have a little stint in England for a short period, but no, this is I am very much an Northern Irish boy at heart. You know, for that price, I'd buy Barradur. Oh yeah, Barradur's fab. I have that. That is actually sitting. Funny enough, I was very close to pulling out the Shire to build on this screen. Oh, son of a. Oh, I hate that. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's generally a liked accent, isn't it? So this was actually one of these bloody stupid scenarios where it's a ×2 build. So that the whole section that I've just been building, I was meant to do ×2, but I didn't see that in the instructions. I'm not sure it actually tells you that, not specifically. So I have to basically start again. But yeah, as I was saying, I was very close to picking the Shire out for this build tonight, or today rather. But I really wanted to build this station, so. But Barradur looks fab. So it's sitting in my backlog. An absolute pile of Lego up in my garage, just waiting to be built. And it will one day. I have Rivendell built. I just want to have like a wee Lord of the Rings display somewhere. It'll probably be separate to, you know, my main layout, but yeah, no, I thought it'd be cool to have a wee Lord of the Rings display. So I'd love to pick up. I'd love to pick up the Tower of Orthanc as well. But it's a wee bit pricey, so I don't know if I ever will. But yes, I picked the Shire up whenever it came out, actually, just to get the Schmeagol and Deagle gift of purchase. So yeah, it's just another set sitting in my backlog at the minute. It will get built. Yeah, they're big sets, so it'll be a pretty hefty display, but I think it'll be class. I don't really know how I'd incorporate it though in a sort of sensible, logical fashion, because obviously they're all from completely different areas and they have very different styles and whatnot, but I'm sure we can make something work. So yeah, I'm just having to go back and sort of almost do what I've already done all over again. There's basically two little cars to this train. I should have known better, but it didn't explicitly say to sort of go through these steps twice, so I didn't. But obviously, both cars are exactly the same. They're mirrors of one another, so just having to go back and do these wee bits and pieces now then. I killed for the ceremony figure. I played the Lego games as a kid and always played him after beating the game in secret. Yes, that is one of the main reasons why I would love the Tower of Orthanc. Just to get hands on Sauron. Oh, hold on. Can't remember. Sauron, I presume, is in. No, he's in the Barad-dûr set, isn't he? I can't even remember now. I don't really pay enough attention. Did you have any of the original sort of line of Lord of the Rings Lego sets? Just having a wee double check of the minifigures that come with Barad-dûr here. Oh yeah, you do get siren, of course you do. Oh, it's class. That is lethal. I look forward to building that. Well, here Christmas isn't far away. Surely there's someone out there that would say, nah, that's one of. I suppose that's just part of enjoying Lego when you're younger. You're more inclined to break and build. So parts do kind of slowly over time disappear, don't they? Which is a bit of a shame, but it's equally you're enjoying the sets and Lego as it should be. It's only then when you're a bit older and you look back and think, sugars, why didn't I look after that? Because it's now worth an absolute bucket ton or something crazy like that. But that's just the way life treats us, isn't it? No, I didn't have any of them. I wasn't really in the Lego during that era. I was kind of past it at that point, unfortunately. So I sort of missed all of those sets, and I don't mind so much. It is what it is, like. But that I really like Lord of the Rings, and there's a lot of themes that I'm just not bothered about at all. But I think if I'd have been sort of building and collecting Lego at that stage, I would have absolutely been sort of more than happy to indulge the Lord of the Rings theme. No, I haven't actually. I'm watching so little at the minute. I've just not had a whole lot of time, to be entirely honest. Just life in general has been so busy, so I've been really bad. I'm actually, I sort of tend to just try and watch really light-hearted things that I can watch, that me and my wife will happily watch together, So I've been watching Resident Evil actually, which is oddly good. But I have actually started rewatching Stranger Things with my girls, because obviously they've never seen it before, and I kind of feel like they're old enough now that they can enjoy it with us. So in preparation for the final season coming out, we've been listening our way through that. So I have the Upside Down house sitting in my collection unbuilt, and I'm so torn. I kind of really want to build it, but I'm also acutely aware of its value, and don't want to build it at the exact same time. I'm missing a piece. I'm definitely missing a piece. There's no way that that's anywhere else. It's not 7 bags. I don't think it's down the ground. Hey. Yeah, no, I'll check that out. Where can you watch it? What platform is it on? Yeah, so we're missing a 1x6 black plate. Now, I can probably build on without it. It won't be structurally sound, but it will work. I definitely have more in my inventory, but I don't have access to it at the minute, and I can't be bothered going to get it. So I'm just going to carry on building, and we'll hope for the best. A mental note to self: piece missing. Have to go on Lego about that. Actually, put a wee note. I always hate reaching out to Lego for one piece because it just seems like such a waste. Oh, Prime. Okay, right. I've access to Prime, so I can watch it on there. Oh, sugars. No, I made a mistake. It's not missing at all. It's just me not following instructions right. Oh, yeah. Right. So if I take this off. That's not right. And what, I suppose without giving too much away, Puppy Girls, what is the actual story? What's it kind of following? There we go, we're good. No missing piece. Just sloppy me, not reading instructions right. Let's put that back on. So there's meant to be 1x4 and 2 1x1s on the end here, and I put a 1x6 on. So. Oh, wicked, okay. Oh, that's cool. I really love prequels. I love whenever, you know, you get a bit more insight into sort of how you got to, you know, where things are when you pick it up, if you know what I mean. I always find that really interesting. Yeah, no, I'll definitely keep an eye out for it. Sounds good. I don't even know if I knew about it, to be honest. Like I said, I'm not terribly well sort of linked in at the minute. Life's just so busy, it's kind of hard to keep track of everything, and well, clearly television isn't something that has been high on my agenda of late. Okay. Does it feel like, you know, does it feel like Lord of the Rings? If you know what I mean, or does it feel like a completely sort of standalone show that... Did you watch are you watching The Power of the Rings? What's your thoughts on it? I know generally speaking, it's not fantastically received, but I actually really enjoyed it. I'm not a big fan of Galadriel, she wouldn't be my favourite character now, but for the most part I think it's very good. A lot of people I speak to don't seem overly fussed. I don't get massively caught up in, you know, I just enjoy a TV program for what it is, but for some people, if it veers even remotely from their perception of what should be, then no, it's cool. Like I said, I didn't even know it existed, so I'll definitely keep an eye out for that. I'll have a look on Prime this evening. See if I can find that on there. Okay. Yeah, because you know sometimes, you know, whenever they do these kind of spin-offs and stuff, and it's not necessarily always a bad thing. Sometimes it just feels like a completely different show that you're watching altogether. You know, and it's hard to sort of relate to the original content sometimes. Right, so I'm finished bag one then, or all of the bag ones. So basically at this point we have the base of the two units of the train. So it's quite cool. The only thing I don't like about it is the bogies are very close together. So I think once I've built this, I'll probably break this back down again, and I might try and extend both of these units by, I don't know, even 4 studs maybe, 3 or 4 studs. We'll see. I am a gamer, not quite to the extent that I once was. Again, life's just that wee bit busier now, and I just don't have the time that I once had. So yeah, I definitely don't bag anywhere near as much as I used to. Or not bag, sorry. I'm opening the bag. I don't game anywhere near as much as I used to, but I do love, well, I did love it. I was a big gamer for a long time. Just need to find all my bag twos here because typically I thought I had them all sitting out, but I don't. There's clearly a lot more of them in here somewhere. These days, I'm sort of trying to play shorter games because I just don't have the time to get into anything too deep. So, let's see. So at the minute, actually, I'm playing FIFA, which is really boring. I'm not generally a FIFA fan, but it's just really easy for me to pick up and play. But generally speaking, I love Halo. I'm an Xbox gamer. I love Halo. I have always loved Halo, and I know it's kind of faded away through the iterations, but I'm still a massive fan of the game. I love RPGs. Pretty much, well, old BioWare, anything Bethesda, pretty much. Stuff like that, really. What about you? Oh, this is a disaster. I'm missing one of my bag twos and I can't find them. This is so dreadfully. There's too many bags here. Way too many bags. Alright, we're good. Ironically, I haven't really played multiplayer Halo since the very original Halo, and I know it wasn't online or anything, but we would have, me and my mates would have all come around, generally to my house actually, and we would have hooked up TVs and played System Link, and absolutely loved it. I don't really game online. You know, so I don't really get much value out of games without good online presence. So that song looks amazing, but it's pretty hard, right? From what I can tell. Kind of gives me like Ori vibes. And like I said, sometimes at the minute, I know, unless it has like a story mode on it where sort of the difficulties ramp right down, I just don't have the time to commit to trying to beat a game. So I just want something that I can play through and enjoy. It does look at it go, it's done really well. It's not my usual style of game now, but every now and again those games are fun to dip into. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Trying to think what else I'm playing at the minute. I've been trying to play Stalker, but again, I'm really struggling to get into it. I have South of Midnight. Essentially anything on Game Pass, I'll give it a blast because I may as well if it's there and I've basically paid for it. So. Yeah, no, I totally get that. It has been the one deterrent for me for all those kind of games. Not really into those games at all. I will like sometimes. I don't know. It's that sort of constant having to go at it and go at it. You know, that constant repetition. That try until you get it. I used to really love doing that. It is rewarding. I used to get that buzz, you know, when you finally got it. I can remember what was it I was playing ages ago, Guacamelee. I remember playing it, and parts of it were absolutely killing me, but I was committed then, and I was giving it some. So here's another one of these odd design choices now. When I was talking about this, I was on a live stream on Friday night with another guy, and we were talking about this. And so I'm essentially placing 3 1x2 black plates side by side here, where a 1x6 would do the exact same job, you know. So instead of 1, 2, 3, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, instead of 8 1x6s, you have 48 1x2s. You know, so it's massively up on the piece count kind of artificially, but my gut feeling is the reason behind that is that the sort of developers have to work within a certain number of, or designers rather, have to work within a certain number of elements. And so the 1x2 was potentially already being used somewhere and they couldn't introduce a 1x6. Now, they could have used a 1x4 to be fair, instead of 2 1x2s. So I don't know, it always just seems a bit weird to me why they sort of artificially inflate the piece count by sort of using lots of small pieces where one big piece would suffice. But yeah, that's just my 2 pence worth. Alright, so we're just starting on the interior here now, just popping some chairs in. The chairs actually kind of hold together the bases. Again, it's not super practical because it's only 4 wide sort of internally, you know, so you can only have 1 row of seats. So you kind of lose a bit of capacity because of that. And then also because they've used the seats to sort of join the plates, you're almost losing another seat within as well. I suppose there's a wee bit of what's the word? They're a wee bit mirror like. This kind of mirror image one end to the other. Symmetry, that's what I'm looking for. There's a wee bit of symmetry there, but I don't know. It's just the story and world being put together over 500 hours in Dark Souls 3 and more. Oh, Ori is lovely, and don't get me wrong. Yes, I like the Dark Souls universe is class. I love the idea of it. I'm just not going there. Ori is brilliant, and I didn't. To be fair, now, like I said, it has the option obviously of a story mode where you essentially could just play through it. The difficulty strip right back, and you can just enjoy the story because it's quite a nice little game. I do feel like a wee bit of a challenge, so I will go in. I am also a bit of an achievement. Well, it used to be less so now, but I did like an achievement or two. So I would have tried to position difficulty to get the best bang for my buck. But I always thought it was a great wee game. I loved it. Alright, so we're just putting that wee central compartment in. So it's just held on by 2 jumpers. It's just kind of plated along the middle of the carriages, and then there's a couple of jumpers just holding these sections in place. So technically you can pull them back out again very easily. And then we just have to do sort of build up the sides and everything now then, and create sort of create the driver's sort of compartment. Presumably it's the exact same on both sides. That's kind of how I'm building it. So I'm just building both sections at the same time. You see, Metroidvania is another sort of genre that I've generally avoided. I suppose Ori is Metroidvania-esque, and so is Guacamelee, but that was, I don't know, there's something compelling about those games that lured me in, but beyond that I wouldn't be, like, I prefer sort of an exploration style game, you know, like see that I said, I know Starfield wasn't exactly everyone's favourite, but I love Starfield because you could just explore, you just walk around, it's your own pace, you do things as you please. So the first couple of stickers are meant to go on here, but I'm not actually going to put them on at this stage because I don't know if I'm going to keep this vehicle exactly as per instructions. So I'm actually going to leave all of the stickers off for now. And I can come back to them at another point. A bit of both. I do love an open world game. Skyrim, The Witcher, even the likes of Dragon Age. I know it's not technically as open world, but it's a bit more linear. But I do like games like that. But I sort of want a bit of a story in behind it as well. You still need a compelling reason to play it, or certainly I do anyway. So I want to be brought along on a bit of a journey. I think that was one of the things that let me down most about Starfield. I wasn't overly compelled by the storyline. I know there was a story there, but it was a bit weird, and I just wasn't really following it. But there's, I suppose a game that has enough sort of side missions and interesting things like that can kind of get, it can kind of get by a little bit without a solid story, just by some quirky, interesting side missions. The Witcher 3 is, like, for me, is still one of the best games ever. And Red Dead Redemption 2, they're kind of two of the real standouts of that style of a game. And then Halo will always be my go-to shooter. But that's blind love there too. It's just a real sucker for Halo. I enjoy like sim games as well, like Planet Coaster and stuff like that. Yeah, Dying Light. No, I haven't played it. No, I think you've got the name right. There's quite a few of those games that are all quite similar, but yeah, Dying Light. No, I haven't played it. Is there an online element to it? I can't even remember now. What was the one? There was a really crazy one on. Oh gosh, it's going way back. Was it Dead Rights? No, it wasn't Dead Rights, was it? There was a crazy one where you were bashing zombies in like a big mall. Oh gosh, what was it called? Yes. I think I've played like a bit of it, but again, like I said, I'm not really into skull based. For me, gaming is just where I go and lose myself in my wee world. Dead Rising, that's the one, absolutely. Dead Rising was good fun. It was just a bit stupid. I think that's what made it so fun. But no, gaming for me is just my wee world. I just want to go and do my thing and sort of be lost. So, kind of other people, it just doesn't really work for me. Sound like a real bored, I don't like, but hey ho. I just like sort of way release. It's kind of just where I go to get away from the real world. And I don't want to be reliant on other people. I just want to sort of immerse myself in my game and do my thing, I think that's one of the great things about gaming, it is just that, just wee sort of space sometimes, isn't it, One of the other problems that I've had recently is we just built a house recently, moved into it, but when we designed the house, we only put one sitting room into it, because every house we had previously we never used any more than one. But it just means that like my Xbox is on my main TV, and like I have two sort of young girls who are always watching TV, and then my wife might want to watch it too. So I kind of feel like I'm taking up sort of TV time if I'm gaming too much. So I kind of tend to game quite late at night. As a result, and I just don't get a lot of time then. But I've actually just got a new television there recently, and it has the Game Pass app on it. So technically speaking, I've got somewhere else where I can go and sort of game whenever I please now, which is good. Now, Dying Light, I highly recommend the first one, the progression in combat. It's set up, was there like, I'm trying to remember, do you start in like I can sort of visualise a big, massive, sort of heavily tanked zombie in it. if I'm right. I could get a small monitor, but I use the Xbox as well for um, to get Sky TV on our main television, you know, for watching football and stuff like that. So I can't. I would have to keep disconnect unless I've got a second Xbox, I suppose. But I'd have to keep disconnecting the Xbox and moving it, and I just can't be bothered, in all honesty. But like I said, I've got that second TV now, which has the Game Pass app on it, so you know I can stream. I know it's not ideal for every game, but you know I tried it out briefly, and the frame rates and response times all seem to be pretty solid. So I'm happy enough to try and make it work. The only problem at the minute is that particular room is absolutely full of those Lego boxes because I've just piled it down in there. We're waiting for with a new sofa that we've ordered, which we're kind of waiting for delivery of. So once I get that sofa, it'll be going into that room, and then it'll become more of a usable space, I suppose. So I get there. First world problems, right? And look, it's not like I wasn't aware of the way things were going to be. They were choices that I made largely to save money, but you know. Okay, so we're just building the actual sort of main section of the train up here. There's very little. It's very much just like a gesture of a build. There's nothing to it internally, as you can see. It's just a line of seats. We've still put this sort of cab section on, so that's to come. But for the most part, it's really just a line of seats. So there's nothing massively exciting about the build. My hat says minor figures, so I don't know if you're aware of minor figures or not, but it's an alternative milk brand. They make oat milk and stuff like that, and they do all the recipes. I own a coffee shop, so it's just a bit of merch that they sent us once, and I quite like that. I don't drink oat milk myself. I'm a dairy boy. Not like the dairy girls. But yeah, I'm a dairy boy, so but I just love to have it, and it was free. You could say that. Well, less so than you'd imagine. Like I say, given that I own a coffee shop and I work in it 4 days a week, you would expect that I drink a lot of coffee, but I'm not too bad. I spend so much time making it for other people that I don't necessarily drink as much of it as I perhaps once used to. Dairy Girls is great crack, so funny. Just so here. I thought they did a cracking job. Crazy accents up there though. Just building up the cab of the trains here now. So it's just using some inverted slopes then, just to get that nice yellow and black diagonal line on it. Stephen Backer says hi. Hi Stephen mate, how you doing? Thanks for dropping in. You a fan of Dairy Girls? I don't drink. Sorry, I just generalize all of those drinks as beer. I don't really drink beer or anything like that. I have no desire to drink Guinness whatsoever. It just does not do anything for me. But you know, I think if you like it, you love it. I think that's kind of the way it goes. But no, thank you. Not for me. Oh, sugar's going on. There's headlight bricks here, and ooh. Stephen, I'm making a Bricklink designer set. It's the Studgate train station. I'll just bear with me 1 second and I'll pull the box up for you so you can have a look at it. Just want to get these few bits on here. There you go. So that's what we're building there then. So pretty funky. And there's the bag of it. So yeah, Studgate train station 910002, designed by Pablo Sanchez Jimenez. So it's from 2023, the very first of the Bricklink designer program sets. So I've been sitting on it for ages. I built one of the other Bricklink trains previously. That's it, up there at the Brick Cross station. And I actually really enjoyed the build, and I thought, you know what, I'd love to build this one as well. So I pulled it out of my collection, and here we are. I'm gonna just complain, as I always do, about the rubbish instructions. But apart from that, it's a fantastic set. Sort of looking forward to getting onto the main station build, although it's taken me that long to build these trains that I don't know if I'm going to get there today. No, it's not that I don't drink. I am partial to a drink or two, just not beer or Guinness. I wish I didn't drink. Well, I'm not a big drinker. Like that's why I can afford as much Lego as I can, because I don't spend all the money on other things, you know. No, I definitely do like a wee tipple from time to time, especially the weekends. But no, I'd drink more sort of cider and wine and stuff like that. Okay, right. That's what these wee headlights are for. I'm not an enormous fan of using the sort of slope bricks and the inverted slope bricks side by side, because there's a gap between it and it's unavoidable, and I don't like that. But I suppose the only other way to do it would be to use what do you call them? Brackets, and then sort of go for plates. Beer hater, yeah, not a beer hater, just not a beer lover. If that's any different. You love dark beer. Here, beer's lost on me. Completely lost on me. Voodoo Ranger, I think. I couldn't even tell you what Voodoo Ranger is. I'm like the most non-Irish person. Give me a nice glass of rosé or something and I'll be a lot happier. Right, okay, so they're bag 2 finally finished. We're only, 74 minutes into the stream, and I have thus far managed to build that. So we're making very, very slow progress. I'm going to blame the instructions, as I always do, because I absolutely detest the digital instructions. I'd much prefer sitting down to a good old physical instruction, but hey ho. So what we have to do now is we've just got the sort of front to put on these units, and then the roofs, and then that'll be these completely finished. So we'll get started into that. Yeah, the mistakes definitely don't help. Also, there's a lot of bags came in the set, and they came across 3 boxes inside the big box, you know, so it's taking me a wee while to kind of get myself organised. Very, very bitter beer. No, I think my problem is I have a bit of a sweet tooth. So I've never really given myself the opportunity to sort of acquire a taste for beers, especially bitter beers. It's just not working for me, I'm afraid. so again, there's meant to be stickers here, but I'm not putting them on because I frankly don't want to. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to keep this model once built, so there's a small chance that I might sort of tweak things a little bit. So I've got loads and loads of hinge pieces here. It's the worst thing. Like I said, I kind of find that with physical instructions, they're a little bit clearer. Like, it's not that these aren't bad instructions, but I'm reading it off the screen. The screen is not terribly big, so it's not super easy, and it's just very easy to miss bits and pieces. Whereas when you have the actual manual sitting in front of you, I just find it a little bit easier to follow along. I'm maybe just a wee bit traditional in my ways. What have we got going on here? Okay, we need 4 of those and 1, 2, 3. Can't find one. It'll be in there somewhere up here. Right, so yeah, you have to be very careful with those now, don't you? That happens quite a bit too, doesn't it? Especially when you're working with like an odd number of studs. And you find that a lot of the times it sends you on a bit of a wild goose chase. You always end up one out. It's never the next step where you realise that too, it's always one down the line a bit, isn't it? Okay, so we're just creating, I think we're doing the front windshields here. In fact, yeah, we are. So it's all unhinged bricks just to help create a wee bit of angle at the front of the units. And then some wedge plates then as well, just to sort of close any gaps. And we cheese wedges rather. And then we've got more hinge plates in here. You're not building any sets at the minute, puppy girls, no? Okay. Right, this must be the sort of controls section then. What the heck? What's different here? Oh, look at that. That's a fun new piece. Right, okay. There's a really nice wee printed tile here. Where does it go? That way? One day, and then this presumably to control speed. Alright. Oh, it doesn't have all on scale pieces. Do you know, that's a great one, and that happened to me, well, say it's a great one, it's not, it's absolute crap when it happens. That happened to me recently with, actually with that station there, so, the roof on this station is kind of all built sort of sideways and joined for the most part with bars, you know, the little 3x and 4x bars, and it's very much sort of Technic and sort of built down the sides. And I actually, you start from one side and you build your whole way across, the whole way down it, and there's a 3 long bar and a 4 long bar, and I completely didn't notice there's a difference between them, and started building this, and I had started with the 3 long bars when it was meant to be the 4, and it caused no problems at this end, but when you got to the other end it wasn't long enough and it didn't line up, and I had to take the whole thing back apart again, and it was really, really stressful to put together and even more so to take apart. And again, I blame the crappy instructions. I think you need to sort out your space so that your Lego sets aren't at as much risk. What about that? I don't know what's going on here. So one of the other things I've noticed about these sets, and again I was talking to a guy about this recently, they clearly don't go through the exact same stringency tests that an official Lego build goes through, because some of these build techniques are ropey at best and it can be very hard to get them together. It was one of the other sets, it was the Wild West train, and it has like a water tank that was on the section of the water tank. The water tank was built up pretty much exclusively of bars and stuff like that, but it had no sort of integrity. And then at the top, once you kind of built the whole structure below and you went to put the top section on, the whole section below crumbled, and this happened to me time and time again. It was really difficult to get it lined up and just get everything sitting in. So there's obviously a little less sort of stringency in the sort of refining the build processes on these, which I guess is just which is good in a way as well, because you get a lot more creativity in them. Yeah, it's caused me a few headaches. Sort of the front of this is a little bit the same. You have to be very, very sort of gentle with it when you're placing it on. Oh, is that right? I've never ever built any Mega Blocks. I was tempted by the Halo builds, but I still secretly hope, and I know it'll never happen, that Lego will pick up the IP and sort of do their take on it. There is a guy, I don't know if you've ever come across him, I can't remember his name now, but he designs pretty much all the Lego, or all the Halo vehicles in Lego, and he sells the instructions on Rebrickable and stuff like that, and some of his stuff is brilliant. His Phantom's class, and his Warthog actually. But no, I've not built Mega Blocks, so I've not had that experience. But yes, it can be can be a right pain in the butt whenever you get something wrong and you're trying to take it apart and it don't want to come apart. Yes, I did see that. Yeah, someone I follow on Instagram actually had been sent one of them out and was building, and it did look pretty neat, but I don't know. Just didn't quite. I just didn't sort of feel compelled to pick it up. Like, yes, I did see. I was really impressed with the needler. I thought it looked wicked. I can't remember if I've seen the power sword or not. I'm sure I have. Oh no, don't get me wrong. They did a great job. I've none against Mega Blocks at all. Like, you know, like I said, they use good bricks, they use good parts. And as you can well attest to, the plus strength is obviously really good on them. So, you know, there's nothing wrong there. Again, it just boils down to there's only so much you can collect, isn't there? I suppose that's in thousands of pieces all over your floor somewhere too, is it? Or have you managed to look after it? Oh, well, do you know what? I would love like a wee Halo section in like my Lego room somewhere. Actually, I think that would be great. But you never know. Obviously, Lego just picked up the Pokemon IP, so who's to say Halo doesn't follow at some point down the line? The only problem with that though is it'll be a lot more expensive whenever Lego make it. I'm having such a hard time with this. We're nearly done. I think it was just the roof to go on now. Very good. So you keep them all safe elsewhere. Good idea. Where are you based? Be right back. The postman. More deliveries, none of them ever for me. I don't know anything about them, to be honest. Yeah, that's the only thing. Well, I suppose you could make a minifigure chief, but the covenant probably wouldn't lend too well to sort of being minifigure scale. They'd probably need to be brick built. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? These are actually not too bad of a scale. Whenever I saw them in the pictures, I wasn't overly fussed, but kind of as you build them up and they become a bit more solid, they're really not too bad. They're decent enough size. I do think I would like them a little bit longer. I just think the bogies are so close together. I don't 100% like it, but they're really not too bad. I've never really been into collecting figures of any sort, you know, whether it be minifigures or. I have one Marcus Phoenix, sort of, I think it's like a 6-inch model. And that was something that my wife randomly got me for Christmas quite some time ago. I don't really know why. Uh-huh. Hide it. Oh, right, yes.
Huh?
Yes, I think I've seen them. I've seen somebody else collecting them. Again, I'm not really into collectible figures of any sort, so I don't really know a huge amount about them, but they're huge. But I've seen a few of the other sort of Lego Instagrammers and stuff to follow. They have a bit more of a diverse collection, and I've seen them picking them up before. just wouldn't want to sort of get into anything more, to be honest. Lego's an expensive enough hobby. I don't need to start collecting any other sort of figures. Or my daughter kind of dabbles with Funkos every now and again, but I have no interest. I think the difference to me is, oh hold on, what was there was a Black Legends I saw recently. Was it Black Legends or was it something else? What the frick was that? Was it Joker? Or maybe that wasn't Black Legends. It was some crazy figure anyway. It was like nothing I've ever seen. The sort of the movements you could do, the way you could pose the character, the facial expressions you could put on the clothes. It was just insane. They're so expensive. Okay. So your dad's a big figure collector then? He used to work there, or you did? I don't know KB Toys. That's obviously not something that we had over here. But then they probably went the same way as most of the toy shops. It's hard to beat the online retailers, that's the problem. Okay, so I don't think I'm actually going to get on to building the actual main building today, because I don't know how much more I'm going to do. I've been on for an hour and a half now, and I sort of have to mentally prepare myself for everyone arriving home from school and work and the like, so I'll probably have to wrap the stream up fairly soon. Hey Car Spotter, how you doing? You're welcome. Not sure how much benefit you'll have got from it, but you know, if somebody knows, then that'd be great. He did. They went bankrupt about 10 years ago and got crazy discounts for figures, but yeah, every inch ceiling floor. I'm guessing he cashed in big style then whenever they sort of packed in. It's very easy though to sort of get so into something, isn't it? You know, that you just can't help yourself but buy. I know for a while there, particularly during COVID, I was buying an extraordinary amount of Lego, and like I wasn't even building Lego at that point. You know, I was just buying Lego and then just parking the boxes somewhere. So I like have an absolute mountain of unopened Lego sitting in boxes almost all over the place, to be honest. It is my intention to build it. It was kind of circumstantial at the time as to why I wasn't building that much, but you sort of sometimes just, especially if you're even remotely a completionist, you know, when you start something, it's really, really hard to stop. You know, you just want to keep getting, and you just want to build that collection, and you always want that next one, and then that special edition one comes out, and it's just like it can get pretty vicious. That's mad. I bet you that there's so much value in there now though. Hope he's got good insurance. That sounds cool, car spotter. You should build a pit and have all your cars sort of lined up in a pit. It'd be pretty neat, right? I have absolutely no interest in Formula One. Not anymore. I used to like it way back. Like back in the, who would it have been back in the day? I probably stopped watching it when, what do you call your Colombian dude that raced for Williams? I want to say Maldonado. I could be making that up. Right, so just got these wee pantographs then to go on. And they go that way. And then we are officially finished the what other guys? Oh right, yeah. Sorry, that was a one-off. Well, it's not a one-off. We're doing that sort of maybe every month. So we will be streaming again together at some point. So funnily enough, I never really played Doom back in the day. But I love the newer ones. However, they're so intense that you can lose your mind when you're playing them. The pace is serious and they're just so full on, but they are class. I do love the newer ones. I did play Doom back in the day, but I didn't care about it the same way I probably care about the more recent ones. Oh, these aren't going in. These aren't quite lined up. Have I done something wrong? No, they can't line up. Or can they? I had this funny enough in one of the other builds where the yeah, until it's done. I don't know, man. It's such a good game, but cheaper so it is intense, super intense. So just the way these anti-studs sit, they don't quite line up perfectly. So, well, you can get it together, but it creates a bit of a bulge. I'm not sure that's exactly how it's meant to sit, but it's on now. You're very welcome. I am finishing very soon, to be truthful, but I'll stick around for a wee bit longer. To be honest, I kind of wanted to stop once I had finished this section of the build, because I don't know if I'm ready to start into the main build yet. Yeah, like we've been here for an hour and 40 minutes now, so it's been a long enough stream. They're not motorized now. And I suppose you could easily motorize them because there's plenty of space internally for a battery box. You could put a motor on, and if you wanted to use the IR system, you could probably get an IR receiver in. But It's fun for the kids to run around the track with their hands, I'm afraid. What I could probably do is build like a wee box car, and build like a wee box car and house the motor and battery on the wee box car. Although I don't know how that would look, it wouldn't really make sense. I had thought maybe of extending both of these and then building one additional carriage to run in the middle. I can maybe have like a section of that carriage that I wouldn't really want the bogey. No, it wouldn't work. What I could maybe do is modify the rear of one of these to have it almost kind of present as like a toilet or something like that, you know, with no windows. And I could hide a battery unit inside that section, and then I could swap out one of these bogies for a motor. I don't know. I don't even know if I plan to run this on the light. I think I might just have it as like a stationary unit, maybe in like a siding or something. But we'll see. It's quite nice. I like it because it's a wee bit different to all the other trains that I have and that Lego produced. You know, it sort of presents itself as a slightly different style, you know. So we'll see. I don't know. I'll have to think about that anyway. But yeah, the short answer was no. It doesn't. It's not powered up. So you would have to go to the effort of powering it up. I was wondering if they had instructions in here. Because you know sometimes you get some of the trains that aren't powered up. They also present you with alternative instructions to show you how to convert it into a powered up train. I was wondering if maybe this train would have it, but the instructions would have it, but it doesn't. Unless they're at the back, maybe, I don't know. But like I said, I'm probably going to do a wee bit more work on it. I think I'll just try and extend it out a wee bit, just add maybe an extra 4 studs or so into it. I think 4 is probably the right number because I probably want to carry on using these roof pieces on top, and they are 4 wide. And then what I could maybe look at doing is maybe regular windows in 2 sections of 2, set a couple of 2s, and then like I said, I could put like a wee sort of impression of a toilet or something at this end of one of the cars, and then I could hide a battery box in there, and then that could just run down to the, have a motor in case of that bogey, and I could just run down, and then theoretically you've got your part of unit and part of train, and it'll be a bit more substantial, but we'll see, I don't know. Lego made a train that moves in its own. Yeah, they've made quite a few of the, especially the city ones. They can all be motorized. They all come with motors. But most of the larger trains, the more sort of decorative and design ones, such as the what do we call it? Orient Express, the Maersk train, the Emerald Knight, the Horizon Express, the Crocodile, all of those are designed in such a way that they can be motorized, but they're not motorized by default. I think just obviously the additional cost of supplying the motor and the battery pack and the controller and stuff sometimes just puts the price of the actual set above, I think, what they're sort of targeting. So, create it in such a way where you keep the cost down, give the consumer the option in the future to sort of extend the set if they want to. That's kind of the approach. Puppy Girls, there's a new Lego Christmas train or holiday train, or whatever you want to call it, coming out on the 1st of October. It's not motorized by default, but again, it comes with the instructions to do so. So, if you wanted one, there's one. No, of course not. It's only £110. So no, but it can be. They do have the instructions. If you want to add a motor to it. so that is an option. There is also one from a number of years ago. I have it. It's not on display anywhere. It's actually not sure where it is, and I actually think it's a much nicer train. But again, it by default isn't motorized, but it's a steam train, so it comes with a tender, and the tender is then designed to house the battery box, and then you can swap out some of the leading wheels for a motor. So you know there's the option there to motorise it as well. So and they're lovely little sets. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to crack on here or not. I'm just having a wee look at the instructions now to see kind of what comes next. So we're starting to build straight onto this base plate, but I don't want to build onto that base plate. I have 48 by 48. I have a 32 by 32. So I would then need, gosh, it's a big station. So I have these. I'm just going to grab them here. So I don't really like to build onto base plates, only because the way I'm sort of building my layout, I just want a wee bit more flexibility than what you get with the base plate, because I know obviously you can cut base plates, but I don't know, it just doesn't really sit with me. So I actually prefer to use these alternative brand plates. So I do also have loads of 16 by 16 plates from Lego, but from a cost perspective, these plates from this company called Strictly Bricks, and they're so much better value for money. I can't remember how much that was, but I'm sure I got like 6. There's 2 dark grey, 2 blue and 2 green of these for maybe like £20, or something like that. You know, whereas if you were to buy the equivalent in Lego, like for example a 32 by 32 base plate on its own is what, £13. And I know you regularly get them reduced, but you really get them for less than a tenner unless you buy from the secondary market. So you're kind of getting 6 of these for, you know, the price of 2 regular Lego base plates. And then when you're building on plate, you have the flexibility of, you know, being able to use whatever size of a plate you want. I'm actually one short here. So you have a bit more flexibility in terms of the sort of size of the plate foundation that you're working with. So I'm going to build my entire city on basically on mills, but as I said, it'll be on a plate rather than a base plate at the bottom. So like from a sort of the perspective of one versus the other, they're pretty darn similar. They're of an equally good quality. The sort of clutch power and everything on them is fairly similar as well. And the colour wise, they're not a million miles different. But you're not really going to see the colour because it's going to be completely covered up by plates and stuff anyways, you know what I mean? So that's not really an issue. So I'll build on this rather than on the 48 by 48 base plate. So it just leaves me then with this big base plate, but I've got no particular use for it, but you know, it's not necessarily the end of the world. So yeah, that's the base plate then that came in the box. So obviously you can see there I'm just shy one plate, but you know, you've got the exact same dimensions, but I just like the flexibility you have of using plates rather than base plates. Because obviously these can't be built underneath, whereas these can, you know, so I can lift this up, I can build this and then I can lift it up a number of studs and connect it rather than just having it sitting and, you know, potentially moving around. And then base plates are different depth, they're different height, they're like a third in the height of plates. So again, just for consistency, if I build everything in plates, then it's already in a, you know, because you can't quite level these up, lift these up in the same way you can stack plates. So that's kind of why I build everything onto plates rather than base plates. Again, there's areas in my city where I might be able to work within the sort of constraints of 32 by 32, or I think you can get 16 by 32. You can get smaller base plates, but they're a lot harder to come by and they're a bit more expensive. Yeah, I'm kind of just rambling here about plates at the minute. It's almost like I want to build, but I don't want to build. I might actually try and find the next bag. I think it was bag number 4. Did it tell me here? Yeah, bag number 4. So let's find bag number 4, and we'll start sticking a few tiles down, and we'll wrap it up fairly soon, and then I can get tired of a bit of a mess here with plates and stuff lying everywhere. There's one bag 4, but I'm not sure that's the one I'm looking for. Should have organised all these before I started the stream. That would have made my life a lot easier. If I'm entirely honest, I only actually picked this set out about 5 minutes before I went live, so I wasn't even sure what I was going to be doing. Right, we've got what we need now. Apologies for all the noise. Yes, also the Lego tape's quite cool. Actually, I've seen the roads and stuff, and they are quite interesting. I'm just a wee bit, I can't even call myself a purist because I'm using off-brand plates here, but I kind of just love to build everything on brick or plate or whatever, I like everything so it can be built onto or built up from, and so I generally try to stick largely to system elements and whatnot, but I guess it's all relative to your space and your budget, isn't it? Right, so yeah, there's always that kind of organised. It'd be no fun really if I was all super organised and knew exactly what I was doing coming into this, to be entirely honest with you. There's just so many bags with this set to it. It's kind of hard to tell, to be honest, because they're all hiding down here, but there's still an absolute mountain of them here. So let's get going anyway, and we'll see how we get on here. I don't intend on building too much. I need to sort of switch back on to family mode soon, because all the kids will be coming home from school, and dinner and all that crap. And my daughter plays hockey tonight and I have to bring her, so kind of have to be ready for that. Puppy girls, I know you said, you mentioned your morning earlier. What time is it where you are? So I expect we have quite a bit of plate work to go down in this set here. So that's kind of what we're starting off with. I don't know exactly how this all lines up, but so it's very early. Okay. Your day's just starting, mine's well on its way. I don't really have any sort of, some people like to open out the bags, lay everything out, sort all the pieces by, type and shape and all that jazz. I kind of just like them dump them and go. I can't be bothered. I just want to get building. I don't know if that's necessarily always the best way. The irony of this is I'm doing all this plate work here. It's I think by the looks of it there is a bit of a pavement on the outside of it, but I'm going to have to change this pavement because I'm going to have dark grey roads and I kind of want my pavement to be a different colour than the road, so I'll probably have to switch this all to light grey, light bluish grey. But I'm building the set now, so I'll just carry on. And it's not hard to change it all in the future. Like I said, the clutch power on the Strictly Bricks is really good. You wouldn't for 1 second know you were using anything other than Lego to be carrying on. So they're a really good alternative, and you can get them on Amazon. So Strictly Bricks, and it's bricks with a K rather than a CK. So that's the brand there if anyone's interested in looking them up. They do also have a website, strictlybricks.com. But you can also get the stuff on Amazon, and you can pick up stuff on eBay as well, so you can get stuff for good prices. They have lots of different options out there, different sort of colour palettes and things like that. Yeah, well that's fair. I suppose it just makes the process a little bit easier. Like I said, some people are just like really technical and like to actually take the time to lay everything out by, you know, colour and size and shape, and you know what, that's their way and that's cool. But I just kind of like a wee bit of a challenge. I like to have to work a wee bit, you know. Have a little bit of a look through the stuff and verbally not be able to find something and then complain about it. And oh, just is an insane footprint this here. It's going to take up a lot of. It's going to take up a lot of retail space within the layout. Like I said, this is kind of going to be central to one section. Sort of the main city core of the layout, if you will. So I just need to be sort of semi-mindful of that whenever I'm sort of designing my layout and thinking about all that stuff, because it's quite a big footprint. This and it's going to take up a lot of space. Yeah, that's the proper challenge, so isn't it? Yeah, just dump everything into one big pot in the middle of the table and hope for the best. I'm just realising this mightn't be as easy as I thought to switch the plates around, because there is actually like a sort of elevated section or a mezzanine style section which is held up on the outside by pillars, and it's going to be hard now to get in. I'll probably have to do a bit more dismantling than I would like, but I'm cracking on now. I'm not going to stop at this stage. I don't know if I can build with other people. I like to do it all by myself. I've tried multiple times with a family, but it just never works out. I suppose there's a lot of sets now that are designed in such a way where you build a section each and you can probably make it work that way. But anyway, I always find other people get in the way. this is the challenge a bit here is I'm sort of moving off of the 32 by 32 plate onto a separate 16 by 16 plate, but there's no pieces at the minute that sort of bridge the two, so you know I have nothing to kind of join them. Hopefully that oh, we're okay. Are we? No, that's typical. I don't know what way the actual main sort of structure of the build goes together. Oh shit, that's not right. I'm building it right anyway. That one goes there. I'm just kind of hoping that maybe there's going to be like a, even if there's one piece going in here that kind of joined it all together, it would make life a little bit easier, but as it stands, it's just, you know, the two bits are independent of one another and sliding, and just need to make sure I keep them lined up so as to keep everything kind of in order. The only saving grace right now is potentially like a 1x6 plate sort of run across the breadth of the two of them. It'll obviously not hold them together terribly well, but it will create a wee bit of a join, I suppose. Nothing super rare. I have stuff that's not widely available. I have like a couple of store opening tiles and sets and stuff like that, you know, which were only available obviously at the opening of that store and were unique to that store on that occasion. So I have stuff like that. I would struggle to argue that they're super rare, though they're just less common, I suppose. I don't know if I have to be honest, of a few sets, you know, that are much less available. But no, anything like that, I'm generally unwilling to spend the money to try and acquire them, even however that may be. So I just kind of have to miss out. I get any that sort of I find interesting, or well, they don't have to be. Oh, this is dreadful. These don't line up at all. They don't. Yeah. So I get a good few of them. I'm not buying as much recently as I have been previously, so I usually find that I have to sort of make up a parts order or something to try and hit the threshold to pick them up. I did a wee bit of Lego investing, or I still do, arguably, but much less so now than what I once did. And I would have been very strategic in my purchases there to get gifts with purchases. Yeah, I did get it, yeah. In fact, that was the main reason why I picked that set up at launch. I've sold the Wraith. I got really good money for it, and it just made the cost of the set a whole lot less. I can't remember how much I got for it now, but it could have been 110 quid potentially, which is utterly crazy for such a set. But it was the same. I got the Mimic box with the Dungeons and Dragons set. It's crazy money as well. again, it was very much just something I picked up, you know, because I had the opportunity to do so. Not because I had any massive kind of love for the set or anything, you know. I'm actually going to do this slightly differently. I hope. Oh, it's not going to make any difference, is it? I wonder. Because I've still. What have I done wrong? Oh, that's a different side. I hope I don't regret this, but I'm changing the layout of these bricks because I still have nothing. There's still nothing connecting these two plates together, so I've just moved a few bits around. So there's like 2x10 and 2x4 bricks that kind of sort of form a channel across the 16x16, 32x32. And initially they were actually running right up to the end of the 16x16, but I've moved them about a little bit. So I'm hoping that doesn't cause problems further down the build. I might have to sort of explore a wee bit more before I build too much. Just in case. There's quite a hefty sort of brick base to this here. I know, I suppose that's just supply and demand, isn't it? You know, they're so limited in availability that people are willing to pay, you know, whatever they have to get their hands on one. And like, I don't think it's opportunism at all, you know, like at the end of the day, anyone will have the opportunity to go out and pick up, you know, the Bardur set if they wanted it, and thus would have got the gift of purchase with it. You know, maybe circumstances just weren't right at the time, but that just is what it is, do you know what I mean? So I had the money at the time. I wanted Bardur. I wasn't overly bothered about the Wraith, although I liked it, but you know, I wasn't invested enough to feel like I needed it. So I just saw it as an opportunity to offset the kind of cost of the set. And then, like I say, I also picked up the Schmiegel and Deagle with the Shire. But again, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I don't know if I'll keep it or move it on. Well, you could. I don't think there was anything exclusive to it. I can't even remember. Maybe just the claws for the cloth used for the wings. I can't even remember what the crack with that set was, to be honest. But yeah, no, it's certainly an expensive item, and I would find it very hard to justify. But again, you know, if it's something that you absolutely must have, then you know, I also get people spending the money for it because you know, maybe Bardur is just kind of beyond people's grasp at that point in time due to the cost, and you know, then that means the only way that you can get your hands on that Wraith is to buy it through the secondary market, and you'll have to pay whatever you have to pay then, won't you? I'm really struggling to read these instructions, if I'm being entirely honest. There's 4 in there. Is that 1, 2? Maybe 3 and 3. Is that right? 4, 3, 3. Okay. There's the clue. I presume this is a platform then that we're building up at the minute. Yeah, it's a very, very expensive hobby. suppose I'm fortunate enough that I'm in a stage in my life where I work hard and I don't spend my money on a lot of other stuff, and my family, you know, don't want for anything. You know, that we're well kept, so I can afford to buy what I want generally. Within reason, I can't buy everything because there's too much out there. And I do, if I ever see something at a really good price, I do pick it up and put it away for later on, because it might help sort of offset some costs at some point. And might just also give somebody else the opportunity to pick up a set that they missed back in the day. But yeah, sort of by and large, Lego has become a very, very expensive hobby. I think the other problem is they just put out so many sets at the moment. Like it's so difficult to keep up with the amount of sets that they pump out, and like it takes a very strong person to say no sometimes, because like there's some really cool stuff and it's hard not to want it. I know for me, like I have very decent willpower, but there's a lot of stuff out there that I just simply can't get at the minute, because there is just too much. Like I do want it, like I absolutely want it, but it just seems kind of infeasible to pick up everything. Well, yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I have completely avoided the Star Wars theme. I did start picking up what do you call it? Mandalorian sets. Whenever they first came out, because I kind of liked the idea of them. But then quickly realised that was going to become a heavily inflated theme, just like every other one's, or sub-theme, I suppose. And I decided at that point, I can't keep up with the number of sets that are coming out, because I do like to collect as much of a line as I can. And I've had to do that with a lot of lines, to be honest, where it's just ended up being way bigger than I thought it was going to be, so I've just simply stopped collecting. And then I'll just sell it all instead. I'm not going to keep hold of something if I'm not going to get it all, if you know what I mean. So do you know what? I don't really care too much for it. I do like I forget what you call the ship, the main pirate ship. I'm not a big. I only started watching One Piece off the back of the Lego sets, to be honest. I tried to watch it a long time ago, me and my wife, and we just weren't that interested. And then when the sets come out, it kind of just piqued my interest a little bit, so I started watching it. Was it The Going Merry? Am I right? And I actually really enjoyed it, but the sets don't really call out to me, to be honest, so that's good. Oh, sugars, no, that's not right. Need one of these big boys, dude. I want Power Miners back. Power Miners was around when I wasn't really doing Lego, so I never really sort of experienced Power Miners, to be honest. I do have a few. I've somehow through bulk lots picked up a few of the odd characters, but I suspect it's not a thing that I would have been overly into. It wouldn't have been sort of my thing when I was younger either, to be honest. But then each of their own. I think that's part of the joy of Lego, isn't it? There's something there for everyone. Okay, I think we've got away with this. I don't think my brick placement has mattered one iota. In fact, I think it's just worked out perfectly. We've got a nice, solid base to work on there. The Geo Monsters are my childhood to a T. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. And that's very much an era thing, isn't it? If that's what you were, if if that's what was popular whenever you were young, then that's something you'll have grown up with and it'll have resonated with you. Whereas for me, it was Lego City and Lego Trains. That was kind of my two go-tos, which are still kind of the things that trains in particular, one of the things that I enjoy the most. But that's where I'm going to stop for today. I got a bit of a start there anyway. There you can see where we've got up to. It's not brilliant because I've got a plate joint here, it's a wee bit flimsy, but we're not too bad. Once it gets built up, there'll be a bit more structure to it. And to be honest, I'll be adding to the underside of it, so give it a bit more sort of rigidity as well. I'm going to bring the camera over just to give you a wee close up of the set. Or what I've done so far. And then we're going to wrap it up there. So obviously that's the wee train then. A wee bit of a close up of that. So it's not too bad actually, it's quite nice. Once it's all built up, it sort of looks a lot better actually. And then there's the big pile of bags down there. What a mess, pure carnage. But that's for another day. So yeah, thank you very much anyone that tuned in. Puppy girls, thanks for the chat. I hope I've made your day a wee bit better. You stay safe too and get all that Lego tidied up and get building again. I will maybe be back tomorrow around the same time to carry on with this build. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure just yet, but me oh my worth in a Ninjago says. There's the only one that I have in this room. I have one more built elsewhere. But that's as much Ninjago as you're going to get out of me for now. But yeah, thank you. Thank you very much anyway for tuning in, folks. And if you haven't already, drop us a wee like and a sub. And remember to stay tuned for future streams and future videos and whatnot. Appreciate all the support I can get. It all massively helps. I have the start of a city. I am working on the layout. This is all just kind of display for now. But I am working on a layout, so that'll all be in a future video anyway. And my wife has just started building. Thankfully, it's taken a long time, but I've almost got her there. But I don't want her to get too into it. It's my hobby. But anyway, I'll chat to you another time, because I need to wrap up here anyway, because I've been on here for ages. Remember again, folks, give us a thumbs up, give us a sub, all of the rest, and I'll catch you all on the next stream. Take care. Have a great evening.